In this video, I will give an introduction about programming tools. We will try to understand this topic with the help of an analogy. We will try to establish an analogy between programming and carpentry. Here is a small comparison between carpentry and programming. In carpentry, we use wood as an input, and in programming, we use input data. Carpentry has many tools like a handsaw, mallet, drill, plane, etc. Programming has tools like operators, decision-making statements, loop statements, functions, etc. As an output, in carpentry we get wood products, and in programming we get output data. In carpentry, we know that we need to choose right material, that is type of wood, and right tools at the right time. Handsaws are used to cut the wood, drills are used to make holes, and plane is used to get a smoother surface. It means we cannot use handsaws when we need to make holes. We need to decide which tools will be used on which time. Similarly, in programming, we need to choose the right material, that is a type of data, and right tools at the right time. Let's take a look at these materials and tools in programming. So first one is data. We all are very familiar with data and information. Data can be in many forms like numeric data, integers, floating point, and imaginary numbers. String data like sentences and paragraphs. Boolean type which takes only two values as true or false. And multidimensional data like arrays. Data can be stored in virtual memory locations called variables. We usually provide data as input in a program, and that program returns the desired data as output. For example, a program to add two numbers takes two input numbers and return the sum of those input numbers. Next is operators. Operators are the most basic tools in a programming language. There are various types of operators available in a programming language. For example, assignment, arithmetic, comparison, logical operators. Other type of operators may be language specific. Some programming languages offer special operators like ternary operator or shift operators. Here is an example of an additional statement. The above statement sums the values of variable a and b using arithmetic addition operator, this plus symbol, and assign the result to another variable c using this assignment operator equal to sign. Next is decision-making statements. Decision-making statements contain conditions that are evaluated by the program. If the condition is true, then a set of statements are executed, and if the condition is false, then another set of statements is executed. For example, in this case, if a is greater than b, then the value of a will be assigned to the new variable greater, and otherwise the value of b will be assigned to this variable greater. Next is loop statements. Loop statements are the statements execute one or more statements repeatedly several number of times. A loop executes the sequence of statements many times until the stated condition becomes false. There are basically three types of loop statements in a programming language, that is for, while, do while loop statements. Here in this flowchart, the loop starts from this point and then the condition is checked, and if the condition is true, then the statement block inside the loop will be executed, and then again the condition will be checked again, and this will go on and on until the condition becomes false and the loop will be exit. This flowchart is applicable for and while loops only. In the do while statement, the statement block will be executed at least once whether or not the condition is true or not. The next is built-in library methods and functions. All programming languages offer built-in functions, or sometimes we call them methods or subroutines. A function takes some inputs and returns the output according to its behavior. For example, system.out.println in the brackets in the quotes hello world and then semicolon. The above function takes a string as an input and prints that string on the command line as output. And the last one in this video is user-defined methods or functions. Many carpenters make their own custom tools. Similarly, programmers can make their own custom functions, or precisely say user-defined functions, which can be reused. Sometimes we may find that a block of code is being repeated regularly. In these situations, we can convert that block of code into a function. Creating a function is useful for minimizing, simplifying, and organizing code. So this was a brief introduction of tools available in programming languages. In the later sections, we will discuss these topics more deeply. So thank you very much.